We're up and running. My mama said they were magic shoes. They could take me just about anywhere. So I went running.
I have a feeling this is going to be a really good show. Tonight's going to be a good night.
I don't believe it. You're in love with me.
Taste as sweet as candy. Taste as That's what Raph and I were singing that time that we got all those ratings, right?
Really?
I think so. No kidding. Or was it Brandy? You're a fine girl. There's a girl.
I don't know.
Laying whiskey down.
This already started off stupid.
Those are usually the best shows.
It'll end that way too.
It'll end that way too.
All right, you ready?
Ken, do you sometimes think to yourself, man, I'm glad I'm not there?
No. I miss this. I really miss the studio.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. I thought we were already up.
We are up. Well, I'm going to start recording now.
Get on up. Get up. Get on up.
All right, here we go. Let me bring up the likes.
We need to kidnap Ken.
Just snatch and grab.
Yes.
Yeah, Ken.
Throw a black bag over my head.
Just throw it back. Yeah,
Ken,
exactly.
Ken, do you ever go out and have a smoke in the front yard?
We'll just burlap sack his ass.
Yeah, on occasion.
Yeah, so we'll let you know.
Time and date.
It'll be like, what was it? What's the Will Ferrell movie where they go back to school and they form a fraternity? Old school. Where they go around snatching people. That's what we're going to do to Ken. Ken, you up for that? Do we have your consent?
You're my boy, Blue.
We are all in.
Yeah, except that you would have to say you're my boy, Red.
And he's my boy, White.
Yeah.
It's like Reservoir Dogs. I'm Mr. Red. He's Mr. White.
Joseph
Mr. Brown.
Schultz, Fat Guy Singing is this opera.
God, I have to be Mr. White.
Wow.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Let's start it up.
Start me up. You start me
5,
up.
4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the Freemasons Podcast with your hosts, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudge.
Worshipful Brother Joe.
Worshipful Brother Ken.
And tonight's episode is going to be background checks. This is going to be a heated debate.
I think it's going to be a good one. But before we get into it, I would just like to throw out that the opinions expressed on this podcast do not necessarily represent any Grand Lodge jurisdiction, nor that of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Connecticut.
All right. I'll let you have it.
I think we're covered.
All right. I think we're covered. If not, it's fine. All right. We're going to go through some likes first, though. We got Paul Natal, Jamie Paul Lamb, who was one of our...
Oh, yeah. He was on last week.
Philip Williams Crumpin, John Blanchard, Nick Ives, Simon Bennett, Jordan Nordahl, Randy S. Woods, Tay Elgin.
Oh, I know TJ. Oh, you do? Yeah, Pyramid Try number 9.
Ives, too. You brothers know Nick Ives.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Connecticut based. Right Worshipful, I believe. Alberto Regalado Jr., Jeremy Ryder, Zach Sloan. All right, toast them.
Toast them.
Brothers, right hand arms.
To arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Good fire, fire all. Together, brothers. Vivat, vivat, vivat. Awesome.
And while we're doing toast, I just want to give a shout out to a guest that was on our show, Brother Carlo Gargiulo.
Yes.
Unfortunately involved in a pretty bad motorcycle accident. But I did hear that he is back home now, which is a positive sign. But just a shout out to a brother. Hope you are feeling better and wishing you a speedy recovery.
And there is a GoFundMe page for him, too.
Yes, it's up on our Freemason podcast page.
Yes, it is. If you can donate, help him out.
Please do.
He's a little banged up, so that would be awesome.
Which means he has no reason not to sit there and listen to our podcast.
Correct.
So.
On top of
what? He's not going anywhere.
All right. On top of that, we also got a gift from one of our Aussie listeners.
Yes, we did. You want me to open it up?
I want you to open it up.
Do you want me to floss with it too?
Don't floss with it, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Don't encourage him.
I'm on fire tonight. I apologize. I'm going with the preemptive apology to anybody that I'm going to offend tonight. It's just one of those nights where I'm in a great mood, had a really good day, Work was good. Had a good day with my boss. Had a great day, and
All fired up.
all fired
There
up.
it
That's
is.
Pat Benatar once.
Ah, that is a nice flag.
That is the Australian. You got to move it over Ken's other direction, towards you, toward me. Bring it this way. Yay! All right, hold that there for the entire podcast.
Isn't this what the Bushwhackers had? It's the Bushwhackers.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, we got an Aussie flag, and we're going to be flying that in the back somewhere over here. Join or Die is not coming down. British flag will remain.
No, we'll find a
Old Glory up top, but we will find a spot for it. We'll do some redecorating, and we will be flying that flag as well. I want to thank our listeners from Australia who tune in, who are in Discord, as well as those who, have been supporting us since day one. I want to thank you guys. And if you're from another country, you want to send some flags up here,
Please do.
We'll rock them.
Aussie.
Freemasonry is worldwide, not just the United States. So, all right, brothers. Shall we get heavy into this?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So I just first want to say that not all grand jurisdictions and or lodges adhere to the background check prior to becoming a Freemason. Morningstar Lodge is not one of those lodges. It's never even really been brought up. I know it's been brought up in our Grand Lodge session that it was eventually left to the states to decide. Excuse me, the states, the individual lodges to decide. But I know other grand jurisdictions, it is mandatory. As a matter of fact, I spoke to brother. Oh, Ken, who are we on? Joe Glaskowski? Grabowski, thank you. Brother Joe Grabowski in Discord through the
he's one of our new
guys.
Yep.
We have an Amity guy in there now, so that's even better. I asked for a secret Dakota ring. He told me no.
But they better be. They're working on that still, right? They're still in the.
They are working on it. Yes. But he was in Discord today, and we were in free chat. All had a great conversation this morning. A bunch of brothers were in there horsing around until we had to go actually do work. But if you want to join Discord,
for as little as $3 a month, you too can join Patreon, which gets you exclusive access to Discord chat, free chat, and soon to be video chat.
Already in there.
Video
done.
Chat's already in there. And in addition to that, you will get your Freemasons podcast gold tone lapel pin, which shipped yesterday. They might actually be at my house.
Awesome.
So for as little as $3 a month, that is all yours. As little
as rename that Ancient Free and Accepted Chat.
Oh,
well, yes and no. I guess I could. The only issue with that is there are a lot of, and you don't have to. I want to be clear on this. I just want to add this in while we're talking about it. You do not have to be a Mason to join Discord.
Right. You can be a Clandy.
You could be.
You can be a Clandy. Yeah.
You could be
or HR. Excuse me.
You could be. Anybody, any walk of life, if you like the podcast, if you're a supporter of Freemasonry, you can most certainly.
Or if you just want to show up and get yelled at by me, that's totally fine too. For as little as $3 a month.
You're the least of the problems. Danny Collins sent a whole freaking powdered wig up here, and he has made fun of just about everybody.
Oh yeah, no, he's.
Tell you, I gotta say though, Danny Collins is an amazing brother.
Absolutely, and as much as I'm the straw that stirs the drink of this show, brother Danny Collins may be the straw that stirs the drink of Discord. He really may be.
Yep. And the crazy thing is, people, when he goes silent for a while, because I know he's got a lot going on, he
changes the whole vibe of the Discord.
Nothing changes it, but people ask, "Where's Danny?
Where's Danny? What's the matter?
Where's Danny? What's the matter?
Why isn't he out?"
Okay.
Yeah, he might be the straw that stirs. He's like the little straw. He's like my mini straw.
But I also want to say that the Schultz brothers are still the patriarchs. They are.
Absolutely.
They are like the.
He might be the straw that stirs the drink. They're the drink. Like they're the drink. He mixes it, gets them all agitated and mixes them up. But they're the drink. He just adds that little extra.
The Schultz brothers are definitely looked at as, I guess you could say, father figures.
They're like Discord royalty.
They are.
They're like that queen woman.
Poor Ken, he's freaking dying over here.
They're like that do nothing queen in England.
Oh my God. You're trying to piss off Danny again. I see what you're up to. That's
really?
Right. I respect
you
it.
Think that?
But anyway, anybody could join Discord. You don't have to be a Mason. So if you want to come in there and meet some Masons and have some fun and get you out of the every single day vibe of listening to the news. Join Discord, join Patreon. You get extra episodes, and on top of that, you get to be, all the celebrities that and I call them celebrities because realistically, some of our listeners in Discord are the celebrities.
Oh, absolutely.
They are celebrities.
They're like the Whack Pack on Howard Stern back in the day.
Right.
We've got our own little Whack Pack going, which is fine. I love them.
Yeah, but if you want to, you can meet them all. They're all on there. As a matter of fact, somebody joined a couple. It might have even been Brother Joe joined, and he
just a couple of days.
One of the things he said was, "Wow, everybody's here." They're all on there, and they're all nonstop every single day.
It's like Freemason Cast Bizarro World. It's like Bizarro World. Yeah, because we have it all over the world. Yeah. So we have shifts. There's like shifts.
Some of the Discord guys are from the Aussie guys and the British guys. They're hitting it freaking 3-4 o'clock in the morning while us Americans are all passed out
on the night shift.
So really go. Who's it?
That never
So anyway, let's get into the topic. We are talking about background checks. So as I already previously stated, I don't need to not every single I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Not every what?
Nothing.
Not every lodge adheres to this. Some Grand Lodges require it, not others. And I was talking about Brother Joe, who was in Discord, and we were talking that it's actually a requirement in the Grand Lodge, filtered all the way down through lodges of New York.
Yes,
that you need to get your own background check and present it to the lodge along with your petition. So, I guess we'll start with Ken, and we'll see where you're at. I see. Right here. Oh, we touched hand sanitizer.
Sometimes when we touch,
we're gonna start with worship Brother Ken, and we're gonna get his thoughts, opinions on the background check. So, worship Brother Ken, take it away.
So, like you said, right, worship Brother George, the Grand Lodge of Connecticut does not have any specific recommendations regarding background checks. They left it up to all the constituent lodges. Our lodge, in particular, my home lodge. I'm sorry.
Turn up your mic. Turn up your mic.
My mic is all the way up.
Not your headphone mics.
Yeah, no, my headphone mic is all the way up.
Well, I can't hear you, damn it.
Yep. Let me look at my settings really quick.
It's okay. We'll edit this out later.
That's right. We'll edit it out.
Want me to fill it with a musical interlude?
Don't fill it with it.
Sometimes when you touch. You don't like that one?
Cranked all the way up.
All right. Well, whatever. Go ahead, Ken.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You're just really faint, but that's all right. Keep going.
Well, I got my all the way up. So, our particular lodge, my mother lodge, if you will, Harmony Lodge in Waterbury, doesn't mandate background checks. We do have a secretary who's involved in law enforcement and obviously knows how to query state judicial databases really well. So he kind of sees it as his due diligence whenever a petition comes in to run the database. So we don't really perform a background check per se. We don't go through some third-party service in order to do it. But we've got a couple brothers that are, of the law enforcement usual vocation, and kind of do that on the lodge's behalf. They'll only discuss the results with the master. On occasion, I think with the investigating committee as well, after the investigating committee comes back from interviewing the prospective candidate. So we keep it more or less confidential. But of course, public judicial, or at least in the state of Connecticut, the judicial database is public, right? Anybody can search it. It's a little clunky, but it's public. So, but we still like to keep it as confidential as possible. That's about as far as we take it.
Okay.
Right now.
Any thoughts on it?
I'm okay. I was totally fine with my background being pulled by the same brother that I was talking about. I know we've done it. We've on occasion come up with a couple hits. We handle those on a case-by-case basis. Right. So as long as it's done in such a way, I don't think it should be mandated necessarily by Grand Lodge. But I feel like if a local Constituent Lodge wants to do it, it's best, I think, if they do it in a confident way so that nobody gets embarrassed. Nobody's getting kicked under the bus. Handle any negative returns that come back from reports on a case-by-case basis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if somebody's got like a minor traffic violation or something like, you don't treat all, negative report as being equal. Handle them case by case. And you give the individuals that are petitioning the lodge the opportunity to bring that information up to you and have a discussion about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the process. I'm all right with background checks in general.
What's for Brother Joe?
Yeah, so first I'll start off with I am absolutely okay with it. Mm-hmm. I have yet to hear a really good argument against it, with the exception of how do you define a background check? Because there's different levels of background checks that you can perform on somebody. Something could be as quick as what Worshipful Brother Ken said, an inquiry on the Connecticut Judicial website, which you can certainly do. But some that are more in depth. So I think the issue and the resistance that I've ever heard about it is the definition of what constitutes a check and how deep do you go. But to me, it makes sense because to me, it's the job of the investigation committee. But if I have something on my record, like first and foremost, check me out. I don't care. I have nothing background that you'd be that I'd be ashamed of. That's at least on the legal record. But if I did get a hit, if somebody said, "Hey, you have this thing on your record, give me an explanation," and if it was something that I did when I'm 19 years old, I'm now 47. Go ahead, George. But if I did something when I was a stupid 19-year-old kid, okay. If you did something where you got arrested or did something stupid while you're in the Marine Corps, okay, you're a different person now. So if you get a hit, it shouldn't be an automatic disqualification. You should have an opportunity to explain it. But again, I have yet to hear a good argument as to we shouldn't. Okay. But I've been at 3 Grand Lodge sessions where it's come up, and it's always a highly debated topic. And I don't get it. I don't get why it's so debated.
So I get a naysayer.
All right.
I'm done. No, go. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So I get to be the naysayer of this. And here's I am adamantly opposed to background checks. Okay.
Interesting. I didn't see that coming.
Adamantly opposed. Okay. And here's why. Number one, okay. We first start off with allow a man to be a Mason at the age of 18. Okay.
Which we had that debate a couple episodes ago.
And my personal belief is that it'd be 18, not 21. And again, I'm 14 because, again, I served in the military when I was 17. I was in boot camp serving my birthday. And, yeah, I didn't get any cake. I can promise you that. But if you're old enough to fight for the country, why can't you be a Mason? Number one, I think we should be able to grab these men who want to join Masonry at a very early age to teach them or show them the right way to be, rather than them leaving them to their own devices. So Masonry here and its purpose is to make good men better, right?
So yeah, we can catch them before they get too far down the wrong path. I get that.
Now, here we go. And this is my argument against it.
Yeah. Kid's
18, doesn't join Masonry. Let's say he doesn't join until he's 21. But while he was 18, he lived in the inner city. Let's just say he was a mayor, right? Let's say he went to jail for. I'm just
picturing Ken as a gangster. That's all.
It would be the movie Warriors
or Get Hard. That movie with Will Ferrell.
You guys have never seen like the English script tattoo I have on my stomach.
No, but think about this, okay? Kid. Inner city, hard life, hard grow up. He had to bang the streets, right? He's 18, gets in trouble. Let's say it's a drug charge. Let's say it's we'll even go as far as a murder charge, an accessory to a murder charge, right? Does this time, comes out, realizes that, I need to find something better for myself. Looks into Masonry because our whole motifs make good men better.
Right.
Hey, this is what I want to do to change my life.
Right.
But now some lodge will grab that, see that he was an accessory to murder, and blackball him like that because, oh my, you murdered somebody. Freemasonry is about turning your life around and going from a rough ashlar to a smooth ashlar, right? So you mean to tell me that why are you doing background checks on something somebody did in the past? We have more problems, at least in my opinion, with Masons nowadays who are already Masons doing shady shit. We need to police our own before we start banning from joining Freemasonry for something they did in the past. They're coming to Freemasonry to change their life.
Right. But let me counter that. A couple things. The best prediction of future behavior is past. That's a fact.
Do you believe change?
Absolutely. I didn't say it was the only predictor.
Yep.
Say it was the absolute predictor. But the best predictor of future behavior is behavior. You can't argue that.
I so badly want if all this mechanics were freaking, I was going to go mic drop, boom, I'm out. But I just get up and walk out of the room.
But here's the other thing, and here's the thing that I would argue against that is I'd rather be aware of that past. And maybe rather than pushing this in a month and, okay, we got your petition, we're going to vote on you, boom, we're going to put you through in 3 months, you do 3 degrees and you're a Mason. Maybe if somebody has that in their background, you take a little more time. Say, hey, I understand you want to change your life. Continue to prove to me that you're on the right path. Continue to work towards this goal. And if I wouldn't even put a time frame on it. But at some point, as I get to know you, come around me and my brothers and my family,
right?
And you prove to you, and I'm convinced that you want to be that better person. You've put that life behind you. Welcome. I'll welcome you with open arms.
Right.
But I would want to know that that was in the background so that I could give them a little more time to prove themselves.
So James Rafferty says, what about someone on the sex offense list? Now, I want to be clear on that. That is a website called Watchdog where you can look up and see where sex offenders are. So you don't necessarily need a back check. Once you're on the sex offenders list, you're on the sex offenders list.
Yeah, but here's the problem with list. Here's the problem with that list. If you're 18 years old and your girlfriend is 16 and you engage in sex,
it doesn't matter, Duncan.
If her father finds out and gets really pissed off,
you're on the list.
You're on the list.
Right.
So the list doesn't explain we're on the list.
But
please don't send me emails or call me, tell me I'm defending sex. I'm not. But I'm just saying, if you're 18 years old and senior in high school and you're having sex with a sophomore,
right,
that's different than some. I heard a phrase today, perv pants. Walking down the street in sweatpants so that he has easy access and could do all these weird things in front of girls. That's a different offense than, hey, I'm a senior school, my girlfriend happens to be a sophomore, and we're advanced.
But I want to be, even with that, you pop up on the watchdog list, right, as a child diddler, which is fucked up. So Carly Franz,
right, but that's not the only reason you show up on there.
Just like Carly Franz, who put out the YouTube videos,
the
babysitters
chick,
and all that shit. Yeah. Oh, she went in a whole spiel. Well, I'll have to play it for you later. But I just want to say that it's completely screwed up. We are not okay with that shit. We don't do trafficking.
No.
So conspiracy theorists and the Alex Jones who think that we freaking give up baby organs and whatever the hell. He's out of his freaking mind. Like that shit's completely screwed up. But with that watchdog thing, it still gives the access. It at least incites a conversation. Now that prompts you to background check, but it shouldn't be done off the cuff. Because you know what? I've done some shady stuff when I was a kid.
I don't think Joe or I were. I don't think we were advocating like a negative mark as an automatic disqualification.
No, but it leads to a conversation. But I understand how there are some lodges out there and some brothers that will take it as an automatic disqualification.
That's exactly what I'm worried about.
And that's why I think there'd be some criteria around it. Brother Rafferty is saying, but by checking that sex offender site, that isn't a background check. There's some that argue that it is. If you're going to check that site and you're going to check the judicial website and you're going to look in these things, does that constitute a background check? And the fact that the definition of what a background check is, I think that's part of the problem. To me, even without the edict or mandate to do a background check, that's doing your due diligence on the investigation committee.
Yep. But
on a certain level, it's a background.
For Brother Joseph Schultz, if you have a record, are you a good man? Is it the purpose of Masonry to turn around a bad character or bring out the better character of a good man? I would have to say that if you have a record, it doesn't make you a bad man. Shit, I got a record.
Right. I got a record. I got a record. I've been arrested before.
I did a background check. Does that make started this podcast with you?
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, we know all about you.
No, but seriously, like, does that make me a bad guy? I've done wrong things, make mistakes. People make mistakes, they make poor judgments. That's called life.
Especially if you're in a bad socioeconomic issue. Or you grow up in a neighborhood, you could be a good kid, but all of your influences around you are bad. And you get caught up in something that if you were an adult and had a different mind about you, you might get caught up in those. That's why gangs grab kids when they're 12 or 13 years old.
Perfect example. If I'm in a with somebody who's got an illegal gun or illegal drugs and I don't know about it, guess what? I'm going to jail too. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I did anything wrong. That's why I'm against the background check because, first off, I feel that, it's in part a violation of your rights of privacy,
but you don't have to submit to it. But it's a private club, and to get in,
all right. I'll give you that. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you. I'll give you that one.
No, but here's the thing. This is why great topic. You and I agree on every single point, other than should we look at it or not?
Schultz, George, you aren't bad. You're just special.
But it's one of those things where you could be a good man and do bad things. It's possible. I'm not saying it's ideal, but there are situations where we're human. We make mistakes. And not to, again, I'm going back to the 18-year-old, 16-year-old thing just because it's a real situation. Yeah. You're 18 years old and your 16-year-old girlfriend, so a senior in high school, is dating a sophomore in high school, which I think everybody would agree there's wrong with that. Right. She sends you nude pictures. You are now in possession of child pornography.
Correct.
Rather than throwing life away, you may make a plea deal and fine, put me on the list. I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
Because I'm fair-skinned, I'm redheaded, and they're going to live in jail.
Yeah, you won't last long.
Exactly. So I might cut a deal, but even though I don't think anybody would say, "Oh my God, it's a thing in the world," if an 18-year-old high school has his 16-year-old sophomore girlfriend sending him a nude picture. It's child porn of the law.
Let me give you guys an example of what I'm thinking. This is where my brain goes. Okay, guy gets arrested for domestic dispute, right?
Allegedly.
No, but let's just say a guy gets arrested for a domestic dispute. Okay. But in actuality, he came home. The wife was losing her friggin' mind on him.
Somebody's going to jail.
And he tries to leave and pushes her out of the way. She calls the cops, said he hit her. And, I'm not saying whatever the case may be, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Right.
Joseph Grabowski, thanks for tuning in, brother. And we'll definitely answer your question so you'll be able to hear it on Apple. But he pushes her out of the way. She calls the cops, said he plans on me. That guy goes to jail. So now you push this background check, and you give him the chance to say, hey, listen, this is what happened. Because I would hope that if Lodge is pulling a background check, they would give him the chance to explain himself before they just throw blackball in there.
Right.
Ours does.
Okay, you give him the chance to explain himself. But what if there's that one guy, I don't believe him. Blackball, he's done for something he didn't even do. Now, let me flip the script real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me flip the script. Okay. Guy gets arrested for aggravated, let's say, with the same story, aggravated assault.
Yeah.
Says that story. Oh, yeah, I put her hands on me. But in actuality, he beat the living tar in the house. But the Lodge believes it and lets him in the door. So what was the point of your background check? You solved nothing because you background check, you believe the guy's bullshit story, he gets to be a Mason.
However,
You get my saying? So background checks are pointless to me.
How I'm going to counter you. Go ahead,
By
Ken.
themselves,
In and of themselves, they are. However, if you're going to give me the choice of, hey, we're going to look at background checks, and we want to know definitively the two streams that you just gave, I'm going to err on the side of neither one gets in. If I had between potentially somebody in that could damage the reputation of the craft, not just the lodge, but the craft itself, I'm going to err on neither one of those guys gets in. And that may sound elitist. That may sound, me saying, "Oh, I've never done anything wrong in my life." Trust me, I have, but they let me in already. But I'm just saying, if I had to make a choice, and it's like,
and they give you a purple apron too, you bastard.
How about that? How about that? But if it's like, hey, you know what? If we let some guy with a questionable past that we believe in and we think are okay, but by doing that, maybe some of these other bad characters sneak in, and the only way to prevent this shady character fitting in is to exclude both of them, I'm going to side on exclude both of them.
Okay.
I am. It's just...
I would also say that every lodge has what they call a lodge patriarch, right? He's the senior most guy. He's the guy who's very involved. He's the guy who runs a lodge. Let's be real, okay? And you're taking away anything from Worshipful Masters. Worshipful Masters come and go, but there is a lodge.
There is a lodge
patriarch.
Absolutely, okay. Without a doubt.
So,
without a doubt.
I would toot my own horn, okay? And I'm really not. Every member of Morningstar Lodge is a member of the lodge. We're all working together, and our lodge is very good with meshing and working together.
Right. But to back you up here, and I'm actually not going to make fun of you and take a shot at you.
Okay.
I'm a member of this lodge. I've been to quite a few meetings. I've seen your opinion. There's a lot of weight.
Correct.
In this lodge. I'm not, whether you say you're the patriarch or not, your opinion, there's a lot of weight in this lodge.
So, and to tie into that was secretary. Okay. So we did have a situation at Morningstar Lodge where there was a brother who was doing some questionable shit outside of the lodge. Okay. And I called him on it. Number one, I'm going to just be absolutely clear. I'm a human bullshit detector. I can smell.
I got by ya.
I could smell a bullshit from a mile away. And this particular brother got arrested, got in trouble for whatever. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I don't want to name names. We're not going to name situation, but he got in trouble. Right? He was already a member of this lodge, so he had a checkered past to begin with. But then he came into this lodge and he flourished for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. And great. And he was on the right track and doing everything he was supposed to be doing. And he became a very renowned of this lodge. People were like, "Oh, well, I can't. This guy's awesome.
Okay.
This brother's great. And
right,
we love him." And then there was a downward spiral.
Okay.
Where he kind of fell back into that life. I recognized it because, again, bing, the light bulb went off. And I said, okay, something's up. And then I read about the paper. And then I get the story. Well, this happened and that happened and blah, 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 blah. So I said, let's meet. Let's go to a little bar. Come on, we're going to go buy some wings. We'll buy some whatever the hell. And we'll sit down. We'll talk. And the minute I sat down with him and he was talking,
you knew.
I already knew.
Yep. Exactly what the situation.
And I said, okay, this brother's got to go.
Yeah.
It was one of two things. This particular brother was either NPD'd or he was getting a Masonic charge.
Right. To opt out, right?
We went to the NPD route.
Right.
Because again, me as a Mason, we always talk about making good men better. Always to go from a rough ashlar to a smooth ashlar. Improving ourselves. So I actually tried to get him back in. Come back into the fold. Come back into the fold. We'll work with you.
Right.
And yeah, I'll be there.
Never show.
And at that point I knew I don't need to, and he was already in the rears of his dues because ever. And I already knew I need to pursue Masonic charges on him and state my case because he's already on the door.
Right.
And I kind of just let it happen. My argument to the background check would be officers and the patriarch of the do your job. If you do your job, because there's Masons that there's been with a checkered past that end up becoming great Masons,
Right.
but there's also Masons that come in who have a clear past and take a nosedive.
Absolutely. We have a perfect example that we're not going to get into, but you know exactly where I'm going on that. How we became closer friends.
Perfect example.
Perfect example.
Perfect example.
But
great guy.
Thing, and here is where I think the investigation committee it's a little loosey goosey. They're not in their role in the investigation should be more defined because without getting too far into ritual or anything, there are essential qualifications that you possess in order to come into the lodge. You need to be of lawful age, and what's the other part? And
I don't know.
Well recommended, not recommended, but well recommended. You can't well recommend somebody after meeting them twice.
Get me started on reference checks and how much of a bunch of those are.
Right.
But don't get me started on the EMR system.
Getting to know
Right.
the person
Don't get me started. Can't.
That's gonna be a whole other episode.
Stop. I'm still wearing the purple, brother. Don't get me down that. Don't send me down that path. Don't send me down that path, please. I have aspirations.
And the next episode, we're gonna be
we're talking demise and how a Grand Lodge officer gets stripped of his title
and pamphlets.
with examples.
No, but you need to be well recommended, and if you take that to heart, like even at work, people are like, "Oh, how come you don't recommend people to come work with you?" Because a lot of people I know could get here, and if I thought I would recommend them, so it's too often I'd see somebody come in, they've got a petition, and they're like, "Oh Christ, you don't know here? Hey, Larry, come over here. This petition for the guy." They've never met this guy, and I've actually somebody gave me a hard time. They asked me to sign on one for somebody. I said, "No, I've never in my life. I'm not going to recommend him."
I should have been an FBI agent. Swear to God.
Can you spell FBI?
FBI.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Fat ball-headed Italians. I mean, Federal Bureau of Investigation. But seriously, because I do some things during it, we could even segue into investigation, how they need to step it up. But
it's part of it. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
You need to have, this is my personal opinion, 3 guys minimum. Okay. Number 1 should be the new guy at the lodge. The guy who's, either a new master mason or fellow craft, an apprentice, whatever the case may be, and get made to learning how to perform an investigation committee.
Absolutely.
Number 2, you need an officer of the lodge. And number 3, it should be the past master.
That's required in Connecticut.
Wait, what?
One of them has to be a past master.
That's required. You have to have a past master, at least
Since
one
when?
past master and 2 other brothers.
It's a past master.
It's on the form, dude.
Yeah. It should be there. It has.
Oh yeah, we've had a past master every time.
Of course there has.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Not know that. Okay.
But no, I think you've got past, present,
When the hell did that happen? It wasn't like that when I was.
It's always been that way.
No, it
When
hasn't.
My sheet out, it had all
No
that.
way. No way.
Yeah.
I had.
You're going to take my certificate back.
I had 2 past masters on my committee.
Really?
And they still let me in.
But somebody who's a patriarch of the lodge, and I say patriarch master, whatever the case may be, somebody who's been on investigation committees and is a what are we going to say, a friend of the investigation.
Yeah, because
committee.
you have to have credibility. Because we're going back in open lodge and saying, I chaired this investigation committee, and I'm saying this guy's okay. And if you don't have the credibility and the respect of the lodge to trust that,
and he needs to be a people person. He's got to be a people person.
Yeah, you can't have on the lodge.
You can't have somebody who's no.
I was talking to Mesner last night.
I'm actually thinking of the past master who sits there and doesn't say anything, and just mute. Like me personally, I do one thing. I said, "Why do you want to join Freemasonry?" Shut up, and I let them talk. And every time they open their mouth, learning more about them.
Absolutely,
investigation is ask a question, let them talk.
Right.
One of the worst things I've ever seen was a freaking member of our lodge, who was on the investigation committee. I get it, trying to be personal and everything, but he's churning butter. What the fuck are you talking about churning butter for? Sit down, shut up, ask a question, and then let them talk. You learn a lot about people. And you know, another thing I do too on investment committees is I'll double talk. I'll ask the question just in a different way to see if their answer changes.
You're sly like that.
I'm sly like that.
But there should, and that's where I think, you know,
It's like a walking psychological.
he's pulling the sunsuit out again. No, but
Kansas darkest night, then descend as a
but in all actually,
then descend like a thunderbolt. All right, feel better. Go ahead.
But so
Ken looks apprehensive.
I work for a very large company in the United States, and part of my job at one time is I had people, and they would send me to like a 3-day class on how to interview people and what kind of questions you want to ask. And if you came and interviewed with me, and then interviewed with the manager in California, you didn't have the same interview,
right?
But there's no agency in our investigation committees. It's something where, you know, it might be a good thing, and it might be a good thing for Grand Lodges around the country to establish a criteria. We have secretary seminars, we have junior officer seminars. Should be an investigation committee seminar, and I think I'm up to the most worshipful Grand Master.
I have to address a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
A statement here.
Oh, Danny Collins is watching.
I got to address a statement here by James brother James Rafferty. Some people can get stuff, George. Let me tell you what, there has not been a person who has ever petitioned this lodge who tried sneaking by me. It's never happened.
Orson O'Bear did. Orson O'Bear.
When it comes to me vetting people, and people joining this lodge,
right?
No sneaks by me. I am high alert. So that happened. And again, I talked about the guy who was downstairs trying to show me how freaking Mother Mary was on a slice of bread or whatever the hell he was trying to show me, and I was like, no,
on a potato chip, like
stepping. Yeah. So no, George is Freemasons waterboard.
I think he meant you're Freemasons water boy.
No, he said what?
Mama said I was so hungry because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
George is Freemasons water boy.
You're the shade of Freemason.
Oh, that's great.
Time to open up a can of whoop ass.
Mr. Coach Klein, please don't serve that water to them.
Modula Angata.
You're an ass.
My mama says mama's wrong again. That's nice. I love Vicky Valacourt. She loves me. I liked it.
Anyway,
I told you it was going to be a good episode.
That's fine. Let's get back on it, though.
Yes.
When it comes to vetting people, the investigation committee gets them. They don't get by me because I could smell bullshit from a mile away. And I also, for instance, and I've said it before on other podcasts, I've said it before when we've talked, that there's people who come to Freemason, they're going to teach us something. Now, that sucks right then and there. You're done. And me, I need a background check for that. Right. It just means to me, like when you're trying to show me pictures of, I'm making a joke. He did show me another picture. I think it was in wood grain where he thought it was, or he showed me how it was this, that, or the other thing. I remember it was reptilians or whatever the hell. But you're trying to show this, and I'm already in my head doing this process of, dude, you've done way too much acid. You're good for this. Like,
I once saw a portrait of Worship in a drift of snow.
And on a paper plate, as a matter of fact, I see the same thing.
Oh, God.
Love your Worship, Brother Ken. Love you.
Might have even been on a pit. Now, see, that was a 2 for 1 right there. That was a 2 for 1 right there.
I'm going to have to back off this pamphlet thing, I'm thinking.
But the thing is, you do have shot in the cannon. You take it. The chili kickoff. I hate the chili kickoff. You do too, as a matter of fact.
Well, I have a reason for it.
Because you lost. Anyway.
But this gets back to, we've talked about it on several podcasts. You have to guard the West Gate.
And to me, that's more important than a freaking background check. You're seeing someone past. You're not seeing their conduct right now.
But I think it's a tool for that purpose.
Right. It could be, but if used improperly, it could be your. So what was my knock on pamphlets?
Yes.
What was my knock on pamphlets? Why did I?
Because they were impersonal.
They're lazy. It's masonry.
Okay.
If you rely solely
is a background check.
Rely solely on the backtrack. I'm helping you.
Right.
I'm helping you.
Okay.
If you rely solely on the background check, that's lazy masonry.
What if
don't be a freaking lazy mason? That's the
don't.
moral of the story.
The background check
Was it a pamphlet?
as a pamphlet. Do I have you on my side now?
No. I would agree if the background check came in a pamphlet, it would be equally useless as a normal. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but you get my point, though. You
Absolutely.
And I'm not,
In and of
I'm not trying
itself,
to change your
it's
guys' opinion, but you're looking at the somebody when you're looking, at least in my opinion, when I bring somebody into Freemasonry, my signature on the petition as the recommender, I'm looking for what they're going to learn, how they're going to act, and how they're going to adhere to Masonry and or better the craft. Care about what you did, 4 years ago when
Background check can help you understand their tendencies, and tendencies is a big piece of how you're going in the future. I know if I come to you on something, and we've known each other long enough where I know your tendencies. So I know if I'm going to come to something, depending on how I want you to act to it, I might need to change that based on your tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my predictor of how you're going to act in the future. Background check is just a peek into potential tendencies where I can judge that along with anything else that I know about you and figure out what your tendencies are. If your background check shows up sometimes you beat your wife, okay, that's clearly a tendency. It's not once, it's twice, it's 3 times.
Okay.
Clearly you have an issue. If you have a background check that shows 3 DWEs, that's a tendency. That's a prediction tool.
So,
if you may.
That same guy who has beaten his wife 3 times comes to the door, doesn't have a background check, okay, but he's picked to Masonry. Let's say we don't know anything about the background check. Gets picked, gets elected, starts to take his and we take his ass and slam him in the freaking flexion with the ritual that we have down, and you basically you get what I'm saying, like you in that chamber reflection that we have back there. Right. Make him sit down and say, contemplate your life and what the shit you've done, and then walk out of the room. Holy shit! And just to clarify, when physically slamming them, he's referring to it's a large metal in the chamber of reflection that slams when we put you in there, and it has that large metal. I don't want people to think that you're answering potential physical violence with physical violence. I'm not grabbing him by the nape of his neck and the back of his ass and throwing him in the door like a friend.
Exactly. But my counter argument is
also we don't treat cats like that.
No, we don't. They have gingivitis. We don't usually touch cats.
I prefer dogs. I would treat them. But no, I'm kidding. Come on, people. Come on. I'm only kidding. But to me, that realization of, hey, I need to get my life together should occur before he steps foot in lodge.
I think
not in the chamber.
But on the flip side of that, though, it becomes very real when you're slapped in that chamber of reflection, and you're in a dark room with a staring at your face with the Holy Bible, and there's a series telling you, "Hey, you think you're good enough for this shit?"
Absolutely. No, I agree.
And then 2 minutes slam the heavy metal door behind you, and then lock your ass. It's gonna tighten your sphincter a little bit, but you're gonna be like, "Oh wow, this is more than I thought." So maybe that same guy who's done all those bad things is going to do one of 2 things. A, he's going to realize I can't fuck up anymore. Or 2, I'm pay for this, and I need to bid adieu and get the hell out of here.
Quick point of clarification, right,
yes.
Russell, Brother George.
Yes.
Did you say the word sphinxter?
Yes, he did. Like trickster, but sphinxter.
The Great Sphinx.
Like like your
It's sphincter.
sphincter.
Sphincter. You said sphincter.
Oh, whatever. I added a
Sphincter.
T. Whatever. I do shit like this. So
No, that's why
it's my own
It's been
vocabulary.
a long time since we were on it.
Who was those? There was somebody who said I should actually have my own dictionary.
You're part of that, right?
Dictionary.
Entry to it.
I wish I was on your investigation committee.
I will edit all this out. Anyway, no, but in all seriousness, though, like you get thrown into that chamber of reflection. That's why lodges should have a chamber of reflection, because the more serious that chamber of reflection will scare off potential non-desirables.
But your aha moment should come before the chamber of reflection. Like your this aha.
Of course.
I need to change. Not to say that you won't have many more throughout your Masonic career, because I had that aha moment before I joined. I probably had half a dozen more aha moments throughout my Masonic journey, and that's normal. But your first one should not be in the reflection.
And I'll give another.
It should be filling out that petition. You fill out that petition, and it should be when you make that inquiry. Hey, what's this about? You hear that should be your aha moment, and that's why, if you're out on the street or if somebody sees your ring, not Mason, they start asking questions. Answer their questions. Let them have that moment. Let them understand. I can't wait to see
the
that
live feed. It's George from Brother Joseph Schultz. Sphinx. New meme coming.
That'd be a hell of a name for a heavy metal band, I think.
I'm gonna get lit up in Discord.
But no, it's like those moments should come before the chamber. I'm not saying that chamber of reflection can't be one of the aha moments for you, but it shouldn't be one. It shouldn't be.
Correct.
I think, and you agree. I know you agree.
I do agree. But it's the same thing of somebody who does wrong and says, I shouldn't have done that. Rather than having a bunch of people around you ready to beat your ass, say, I shouldn't have done that. There's a difference. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I shouldn't have smacked my wife around, but when her 100-pound brother shows up to freaking pummel my skull in, there's a difference in it. That's all I'm saying about the reflection is like,
like Nicholas Con Air.
There you go.
Where he defended his wife and actually broke a guy's nose and killed him by accident and went to jail.
Right. But you know what I'm getting. I see what you're up to.
No, I'm just saying that's a good example.
And I also, one of the things that we need to stop doing, in their personal opinion, this is not the Grand Lodge and everything, and I know I'm going to catch hell from the Masons for this.
The opinions right now are not necessarily the opinion.
Right, washer, Mudry, and I'll explain myself as best.
And I won't interrupt you, so go ahead.
One of the things that Mason needs to stop doing is dumbing down its penalties, and I'll give you an example. One of the things I absolutely hate, take the obligation, is when they sit there and say Freemasonry is wholly figurative. The only penalties we reprimand Freemasonry is reprimands. That's like saying, Joe, you punched my son. I'm going to kick your ass. Not really. I'm probably
just going to slap you on
I'm just going to call the cops. Like you're taking away that seriousness. You're making it less serious.
Which was not that portion was not in our original.
It wasn't.
That was put in after the Morgan affair.
I know that's why they put it in.
Morgan affair.
But it was Lucinda. It was freaking Lucinda's fault. So they should add that section and then do the whole quotes.
It's like when you get arrested, your Miranda rights. It's named after the Miranda case.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the Lucinda. We're gonna give you the Lucinda rights.
It's the Lucinda rights. The Grand Lodge is going to keep that in there. They need to say these are the Lucinda rights.
That's why I need to inform you of your Lucinda rights. Know that these penalties are wholly figurative.
Yeah.
The Lucinda rights. That's the Lucinda rights.
Get rid of them. It takes away. You're basically saying we're these things too. If you violate your obligations, you're good. You're good. No, I do not like.
I agree with you. 100%.
I wish I'd remove that. which also,
Or
again,
you could just conveniently forget it.
this is the other reason why the fact that lodges don't use a chamber of reflection. Chamber of reflection, they're like, oh, it's going to scare them.
That's the point.
That's the point. You want to get the undesirables.
Yes.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
That's,
agree with you.
I mean, me personally, I'm more a fan of the chamber of reflection and scaring the shit out of someone. If they are an undesirable, they sit going, oh shit, rather than, oh, we're going to run your background check. They're not going, oh shit. They're not going to explain my way out of this.
Right.
Mic drop. I'm out.
Doesn't have that far to fall.
Nicely done.
Thank
you. Oh, what's your
I'm not
brother
gonna read
Ken?
through it, brothers, but I just like to let you know that I got an update on status of Right Worshipful Brother Chip Schofield, and he's doing a lot better.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Good.
Use a little bit of good news right now.
That's awesome.
Prayers are being answered when it comes to Right Chip. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now, but I'm sure we'll have an update posted and you brothers check. But
very nice.
Power
always
of
good to
prayer,
get
man.
good
Power of
Yes, it
prayer.
does.
Power of
Power
positive
of
thought.
brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that vibe, man. It's like the end of like the end of Ghostbusters when they're all singing "Put a Little Heart." Or no, I'm sorry, it's "Your Love Lifting Me Higher."
Your love
Yeah.
left to be
And
higher.
they make the Marshmallow Man go away.
Higher and higher.
Keep it up. Quench my desire.
Higher and higher.
No, that's awesome though. That's great news.
Ken is just firing him back over there. He's drinking
What do you-
box wine again.
Box one.
Hey, what's your brother Ken? Do me a
I don't
favor.
drive
Nick,
anywhere.
you're back next time you're on. Change your background to Central Seal
Yes. Please.
Why would I do that?
because it'll look really cool.
It would look really
Okay.
cool. You should actually worship with Ken while we're live and we're recording Facebook Live. Every single pod, I want you to change your background to something new. Tell anybody. Just
Got it.
show up
can
and
do
just
that.
do something different. I don't care what it is, whether it's the Jolly Roger, it could be anything.
And what I want to make a drinking game of this, and every time George pronounces a word incorrectly, I want to see you take a shot.
I can spell the word correctly and put it behind the.
Yeah, put it on. Put it on the. Keep a tally.
You could. You could put it like above it.
Put a number. Put a thing where there's like a number behind you, and every time he says, the count go up. It'll be like the freaking. It'll be like the freaking this telethon where it's like, let's go to the big board.
Yeah, I could do that, man. I have the technology.
Very nice. What are we doing Sunday?
Sunday. I think we got a guest. Sunday.
I think you're right. I think we do have it.
Yes, don't we?
We do.
Raph, who do we got? I know Raph is watching.
the Booker.
Hey,
You
Barry
want me to,
Buzzle,
do
my
you want
the one AGM.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Hey,
brother?
Barry. But I think we have a guest.
I can tell you that on.
Yeah, who do we got? Ken, you got access to the calendar, right?
Yeah, it's brother Andy Purcell.
Right, that
that's
is
right.
this weekend. Yeah.
Brother Andy Purcell back.
So, brother Andy Purcell, I was talking to him last week.
We interviewed him last time. I think we're just going to shoot the shit with him this time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when
Really
we have
fun.
somebody come on another time, tell new, he's got a really big announcement. And he had that song last year called "Living the Salt Life,"
Uh-huh.
and he actually
I have
hooked
it
up.
downloaded.
It's a good song.
It's a good song.
I'm not the biggest country music fan, but that's a good song. That's a fun party song. But he hooked up with, if any of you have ever been to any beach town, you know, Banks, Cape Cod, Cape May, anything like that, you'll see Salt Life stickers on their window in the back of their car.
Uh-huh.
That's a clothing company. They do a lot of different types of beach clothing things.
Uh-huh.
He's actually with them now. They brought him
That's
on
awesome.
as an ambassador. So that's a huge deal. So
Yeah,
he's going to come on and talk about that a little bit.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So a great guy. I was on a Zoom chat with him last week. Yeah.
No kidding.
Oh,
No
Jesus.
need to throw things. I mean, Jesus. Pissed her off already. Freaking HR's mad at you again.
Nothing new. I'm just
All right. So Andy Purcell, Sunday. Good. Then we got Thursday. So we're going to talk about Thursday. We're going to talk about
Oh.
we're going to talk about the EMR system.
calling it sick for that one. I got to call in sick for that one.
No, well,
I can't.
I got a couple things.
I can't make it on Thursday.
I got a couple things in the hole that I want to go over. So
probably for me.
I'm an EMR chairperson, I think, for my
Me too.
I am too. To me, it should just be part of the secretary's duties, and I gave that district deputy.
Mother lodges, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me, it should be rolled up into the duties of the conversation with my district deputy just the other day.
Right.
District deputy for District 1.
Mm.
C something.
Alone is your district.
For this one. But Right Worshipful Brother Mark Hawkins is my DD for District 1. You remember him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mark Hawkins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good guy. He and I had scolded me the other day. No, I'm only kidding. He didn't scold me.
Mark scolded you? He's like
No, I'm
nicest,
kidding.
He's like the nicest brother in the planet.
Yeah, but it's me. It's me. Like,
so he just did like a redheaded stepchild. Zing,
nice
you'd
job.
like
I did like that one.
Thank you for the assist on that.
See, that's a good thing. Cap's got it. He's got it pretty good because if I get in a lot of trouble, I'm only affiliated with District 3. It's got to deal with me. Although I'm a Grand Lodge officer for District 3, so I guess they got to share that.
Yeah. You're screwed either way.
Yeah, I'm screwed either way.
All right, what do we think, Ken? Let's end this. Let's end this podcast. We're going to start with you. You still for pod? Oh my God.
I am still for background check with reservations, and I agree with Brother Joe on the same.
Did you hear
reservations that what?
Did you hear what I said? Are you for or against the podcast?
Well, how about that?
Still out on that one.
How about that card answer?
Yeah, which one?
The one about the crappy podcast.
What?
Yeah, starting a shitty podcast. One of the.
Wow.
Yeah, and they like to play that card all the time when Worshipful Brother Ken and I are cards against humanity because they know it hurts.
Things a little bit.
Podcast guys on there.
I didn't even play the game. No, I don't want to friggin' play no more. Anyway, Ken, but you're for.
I am for
conditionally.
The reservation we talked about earlier. I have not changed my opinion, but I would say it should be a tool. It should not be an all or nothing. And it should be part of our due diligence, not the only thing that we're doing to check on somebody's past behavior.
Where's your brother Joe?
I agree with word Ken. If you use it as your only tool to decide whether or not somebody comes no better than a pamphlet. It's lazy, but used as a tool in conjunction with other things, it could be a really good thing, like a pamphlet. Cool.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Doesn't tell a story, and learn to meet the person. You should get to know on a personal basis before.
Freaking Schultz is on fire.
You should get to a personal basis, not their past, and make your decision based on their during the investigation committee, during the original of whoever your first guy is, who's the first contact. First contact being if you don't think he's right for it, don't recommend him. Shouldn't just be the guy, oh, hey, I need a signature. Come over here, vouch for him. The voucher should do separate vetting. Investigation committee should do their own separate vetting. And with all of those 1, 2, 3, 4, eventually the vote in place, you don't have to worry about a background check because you'll get to know that person. The Thursday, I want to talk about different things. The Thursday podcast, Thursday podcast. I want to talk about different cool that can be done to enhance a person's joining the craft.
Amphetamines.
Not what?
What?
One of the things I always thought would be cool is rather than telling the guy, hey, at the lodge, show up at his house and attack him and bring him here.
Like we're going to do to Ken. For next Sunday.
But how cool taken out of your house, have no idea where you are in the lodge?
Traditional observance lodges do that. Brother Cliff,
That's right.
Cliff Porter.
There are laws against that. You can't just like snatch and grab it.
If you get there, you got to.
if they petition.
You sign away. You put a waiver at the bottom of the petition. By signing this petition, you agree every time we could show up at your house and kidnap you.
The same thing for background checks, Kenny boy.
All right. We're going to show those who tuned in, worship Brother Joseph Schultz. When you marry a woman with a ginger kid, you
That's messed up. That's messed up.
I'm just glad my sphinxter thing never grabbed hold.
Oh, no, your sphinxter is grabbing hold of something. And I'm sure that'll be in a meme.
Shut it down for the Freemasons podcast. Worship Brother George Mudry signing off.
Worship Brother Joe signing off.
Worshipful Brother Ken signing off.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.
We are still Facebook Live.
Hey, George.
Yes. Ask me about your goat. All right, about your goat.
Oh, I can't actually pull it up over my head because I got my headphones on and I'll rip it out of my
Oh, don't tease us like that, Ken.
Don't do that.
on the inside of my shirt. See?
All right. Let's shut it down. I'm gonna shut down the live feed. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
We'll catch you on the flip side, mother. No.